So for this project, because a baby gate is not something that's going to stay there forever, I decided to use reclaimed material. And what you see right now is basically what holds a mattress in a kid's bed. So it's fur, and basically I have to remove all the strapping that holds all the pieces together, and then I'm gonna have to clean them up a bit. So I'll send them through the planer, and after that I'm gonna have to size them up to a size like so they're all the same size. So you can see right now I'm going through the planer. So after everything was said and done, I ended up with pieces that were roughly 5/8 thick by 2 inch wide. Then I'll be able to cut them to length, and from there start making the other frame. It's a custom gate, obviously, because I have to go from the opening of my staircase. So here I'm basically making sure that everything's gonna work out. I'm gonna have a block hinge at the end. You can see I'm putting the little hinge pins thickness just to make sure that all the measurements are gonna work out, and then from there I'm gonna be able to do a layout. So basically I have a 3 inch spacing in between each slats, so that's gonna prevent my son to get his head stuck in it. Those are gonna be the slats, so I'm cutting them down to 1.5 inches in width. They were 2 inches, like I said previously, and I didn't use a stop block here because I wanted to use the best part of each board because it's reclaimed. Like there's a lot of imperfection, so I tried to minimize the amount of imperfection in this construction. So because of the way I've constructed my gate, I have a block hinge that sits in between the top and the bottom rail. I have to do a dry fit to make sure everything works and the dimensions are working out for me. So right now what I'm doing is I'm assembling the gate, and then I'll be able to do my due diligence and check that everything works properly. And also I'm going to be able to do the finishing touches. So I'm going to do a round over on the whole gate to remove all the sharp edges, and then I'll be able to take the gate apart just one rail at a time to put the glue and to fit the block hinge after. So here I've got a little mistake. I rounded over the end where the end piece is supposed to go. So what I'm going to do is going to just shave off a 1/4 inch, and that way I'll be able to put that on there and then round over this rail as well. So this is the block hinge I was talking about. So I've got the pins at either end, and they're gonna line up in the hole that I made for it in the rail. So I'm removing the second rail, and I drilled the second hole, and what I'm doing right now is putting in some paste wax, and I fill the hole like generously, so that way I don't have any squeaking happening and seizing up, because the hole is pretty, well, it's not tight, but it's not loose either. So now I'm ready for the second glue up, so putting the bottom rail, and then I'm just going to realign all the holes and screw them in, and then I'll be able to, after that, put the handrail also. So I'm cutting a blank for my dowel pins. I decided I wanted to use the same material as the gate to plug all the screw holes. So what I'm doing here is I'm sizing it up, and then I'm tapering the end just so I can go through that dowel maker, which is, like, I guess, the old way of making dowel pins. And all you have to do is go through and pound it through, and that removes like the square edge on each side, and then you can basically make whatever size dowel pin. You don't need to go to the store and try to find like matching material color, or so it makes it very easy. I'm applying some glue and cutting it to length, and then I'm gonna do all the holes of the gate, and then whatever protrudes, I'll use my sander. The color I chose for the gate is just to match up the rest of the wood highlights I have in my house. So my house, when I bought it, was not very old, and I had that leftover stain from all the mantle, and the cupboards are pretty much the same colors as well. So what I want to do is some continuity here, and I'll seal everything up with some shellac. So for the installation, I thought everything was going to be pretty much straightforward. Being a staircase, I figured there was going to be a lot of structural lumber in behind there. So for the first side, where the hinge block is, I actually got some solid right away. But when I ended up adding the other strip on the other side, you'll see, like, I screwed them in, and then it popped right off. So I was kind of puzzled as to why, especially it's a corner. So I went in and got some wall anchors to try to put that in, and then the wall anchors ended up being hitting solid, so I broke that one in. So I decided to try a screw, and then I did get some solid, so I just went from 2.5 inch screws to 3 inch screws, and that solved the problem. So once again, I want to thank you guys for stopping by and watch my video. I'll leave a link for you guys to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks again. So for this project, because a baby gate is not something that's going to stay there forever, I decided to use reclaimed material, and what you see right now is basically what holds a mattress in a kid's bed. So it's fur, and basically I have to remove all the strapping that holds all the pieces together, and then I'm gonna have to clean them up a bit. So I'll send them through the planer, and after that I'm gonna have to size them up to a size, like, so they're all the same size. So you can see right now I'm going through the planer